Mastering meat doesn't have to be complicated. Let me show you how to cook a skirt steak. It's intimidating, right? Wrong. Skirt steak comes from the diaphragm of the cow. Before we get to cooking, let's identify the grain. Grain is going to be the direction in which the muscle fibers run. If you look close enough, you'll be able to see all these parallel lines. Salt is your best friend when it comes to steak. Personally, I love using a nice coarse sea salt. It's going to dissolve more slowly, creating a more flavorful crust. It's not just for show. You want to season high to get an even distribution of the salt throughout the meat. Whereas if you season low, you're going to get giant clumps in little corners. It is 20 degrees outside, so we're gonna cook the steak right here. Normally I would use beef tallow, but I ran out. So I'm gonna use avocado oil because it has a high smoke point. You wanna make sure your pan is hot enough or else we're not gonna get a nice crust. You can see a nice crust starting to form. Ready to flip. I love my meat medium rare. The internal temp for medium rare is 135, but I will take my meat off at 129 and let it rest, and it will rise up to temp. All those juices will stay together and you'll have a perfectly cooked steak. We took her off, we're gonna let her rest. It's been about 5 minutes, so let's get into it. I like smaller cuts, so we're gonna cut it into 3. 1 and 2. This is why cutting against the grain is gonna be so important. When you cut with the grain, you're gonna have this tough piece of meat. When you cut against the grain, you're shortening those muscle fibers. Now for comparison, you have with the grain and against the grain. Which one do you think is easier to chew? You could finish with some flake salt, even add a little lemon. Skirt steak is whatever you want it to be. Tacos, chimichurri, remoulade, whatever you want. I'm gonna eat it as is.